Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Ray the Flying Squirrel here.
And I'm Mighty the Armadillo here, welcome you all back for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Nintendo Wii, or Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D for the Nintendo 3DS. So, last time we've completed everything in terms of the forms of the Cliff World, and my god, the Cliff World is really tough, especially noticeable with the forms of some other levels in the game. But as a result of that kind of stuff though, despite with the forms of the amount of death situations here and there, but aside from that, we did that pretty good, as far as I can usually say about this. So today, for this video, is that we're going to be moving on to, without a doubt, it's probably my favorite world in the game in my opinion, and that's what appears to be the Factory World. So to begin with, let's go and get started with World 7-1, Foggy Fumes, which I can assure to you, because as you can see on the actual map, it's all covered in forms of a lot of fog, or smoke, or something like this. So you know what that means, it's time to able to bring back the good old Silhouette level. Because I'm pretty sure the last time we actually experienced the Silhouette level was back in the forms of in World 1. So as a result, it's very nice to able to see the Silhouette levels again, especially with this amazing art style like this. So, and also I just realized about the fact that it does have some familiar set pieces here and there. Like for instance in the background there was actually a silhouette of the forms of 25M, based off from the likes of the Donkey Kong arcade game, which I found was quite intriguing all things considered. Not on top of all that stuff though, I think something tells me it's gonna bring us a lot of Mr. Game & Watches somewhere, which, kind of think about it, it might seems kind of random for saying this, but something tells me that we might come across into someone familiar. So either way, now of course we still got ourselves a very charming music in the background, which signifies the forms of the Silhouette environments like these ones. So now I think something tells me if you do manage to collect any other like collectibles on these fans, I believe one of those items will pop up. So I'm guessing that I sort of missed the mark here. So either way, and there's no way we can able to deal with these electrical enemies, as you can tell, because obviously if you dare touch the forms of the electric, then obviously about the fact that you're gonna get hit. So, and as to be expected though, that's where the difficulty will start able to ramp up tremendously. But I will say for this point, it's pretty much fair in terms of challenge, especially concerning about the fact that, well, obviously in the beginning portion starts off very easily, and look, there's a Mr. Game & Watch constructor all the way in the background, which I will say, it does look pretty cool to able to see that particular cameo appearance, which as a result of that kind of stuff though, gee, no wonder why that Retro Studios has actually developed this game, and as a result, I'm very pleased about this, especially concerning of all that, you know, a lot of like, references and all that stuff though to other games in general, which I would say it does look pretty cool, don't you think?
Well, yeah, exactly, especially that was when, after when Super Smash Bros. Came out. Specifically, Super Smash Bros. Melee and Super Smash Bros. Brawl managed able to bring the ultimate Nintendo crossover, which as a result of that kind of stuff though, we still have no idea that, when is the next Super Smash Bros. Title. Like, I already know that about the fact that Masahiro Sakurai is basically now retired, so as a result of that kind of stuff, though we have no idea when is it going to be the next game in the series. Like, it could be something more related to, or I don't know, the next generation of consoles, maybe like bringing back some fighters from Ultimate, including DLC here and there as well. So as a result, I think it's kind of hard to tell honestly, because I know for a fact it's been quite some time since we've last played the forms of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, kind of think about it. And there's also short things worth noting for is about the fact that it's been about a week ago since The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has been released. So because of that though, time flies, you know? Especially concerning with all that particular point where today's date of course there is the 19th of May today, in this case in 2023 today, and recently that Fast and Furious 10 has recently came out today on the big screen. Unfortunately though, we haven't not seen the film yet, but we might try to well do at some point in potentially on Monday if possible, but as a result of that kind
kind of stuff, though, I'm still pretty excited to see how that film's gonna turn out. And especially noticeable, I'm not exactly sure what the review scores is going to be, based on the forms of Rotten Tomatoes, I'm pretty sure, but we'll soon find out until whenever that time comes, especially because concerning about that, you know what I mean, with the 2-year gap releases in between the forms of certain films, I'm pretty sure that Sonic has already mentioned about that during the course of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2 Let's Play, basically, so everything else will be pretty much accounted for, so... Anyways though, so let's go and pick up some more bananas, thanks to the forms of trying to turn the actual fan over towards to the right, so just in case we can able to actually grab some of them for the sake of time, and yeah, everything else will be pretty much expected at that point. So, I would have liked able to mention something else for that matter, but I'll bring that up and during at some point whenever we get to the later levels in the game. So, anyways though, so let's just go ahead and blow something into this little, microphone, as far as I'm usually concerned with that stuff, and we can able to pound this little switch, and basically that actually gets rid of the entire fog. So meaning about the fact that we did activate every single fans, so as a result, that way we can now see everything. So unfortunately, we're no longer in silhouette form. Well, it wasn't until whenever we get to the 8th world in the game that we will come across into that for the 3rd and final time. So either way, but well, what's the point of giving us some more extra lives? Because we've already maxed out, aren't we? Well, that's only mainly because about the fact that after the events of, you know what I mean, the Cliff World, then obviously we can guaranteed able to get even more lives back, so... And now, since we've actually get rid of the fog, so that means we can now see everything in this entire map. So meaning about the fact that, as you can tell, that we actually come across into different shaped, spaces, which we do usually have the hexagon-shaped level, which appears to be on the very first level in each world, and also we got some circle blue spaces, or red spaces for that matter, but there's also the square ones, which we'll point out whenever we get to it. So here we go, on to World 7-2, Slamming Steel. So as a result, everything else is going to be involved around in, let's just say, trying to able to actually get used to with the forms of some steels and such, or to be more specifically with all these, I would say pistons, as far as this is concerned. So either way, and it's also filled to the brim with conveyor belts, and then kind of think about it, the entire structure of the factory itself, it does manage able to kind of reminds me of about the fact that, well, relatively speaking now, we'll point things out whenever we get to the later stages to come. And something tells me that we're actually going to be dealing with these robotic chicken-like enemies, which that seems kind of odd able to actually have those in there in the factory world regardless. So either way, dang it, I messed up that jump right there. Oh jeez, I did not seriously expect it to see that. So anywho though, so short things worth noting for in regards to the forms of how the fact that we can potentially say this right now, that obviously about the fact, come on, why is my jumps not even working with me today? I'm hoping we're not gonna able to bring back the forms of the Super Guide mode or anything else like that again, because if we do that again, then we're still gonna have to ignore it regardless, so... Anyway though, so, apart from the fact, no matter what though, that I was originally trying to able to actually add in the continuous subscription when it comes to the forms of the next tour coming up after the events of the Mii tour, which I'm not exactly sure what that's going to contain, but I'm sure enough though about the fact that we'll let, I would say we'll let Sonic be able to mention more about it until when he goes back onto Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2 exponentially. Because of that though, that we're still in the middle of the forms of the Mii tour, which we still had a good time, despite with bad controls as well as the stupid tier system. Like, I still really hate the tier system when it comes to getting certain rewards. Although, usually, no matter what though, that I might be fine missing out on certain things, but it's just about the fact that if I was trying to get something special, like the golden character variation or something, that for love of God, we're always having some very, very, very unfortunate bad luck moments when it comes to utilizing the forms of the stupid tier system, so that's probably just me. So, but either way though, and basically that's all I can really think about it, so... Anyways though, so let's go and grab some usual collectibles on this easy trampoline bonus stage. So, potentially speaking, we can able to just, well, time our jumps carefully, and... boom! There we go. Oh, wait.
almost first thought I was gonna get messed up at one point, but it turns out I somehow succeed, so... And also you have to avoid a lot of things just trying to kill you, like for instance, do not get crushed by the Smash Compactor, and also I died out of nowhere due to the fault of my distance feels a bit wonky at points. I think this is where the point where jumps can be felt a bit of a fickle at times in this level, but I'm sure when you get the hang of it though, it doesn't seem too bad, but it's just that it can be rather stingy at points. Well, usually for what I thought about it, so... Oh, jeez! I totally forgot about that Smash Compactor that just almost crushed us. But at least we can able to hopefully try to keep Diddy Kong with us this time around though, so it makes this part a total easy job. So, let's just see if we can able to grab the N, but I'm just potentially trying to grab that banana coin as well as the heart, so that way we can able to get our heart back. Just in case about the fact that we don't want to get onto the dual dive situations again, so... Anywho though, so short things worth noting for, in regards to the forms of the continuation of the specific discussions to make, that's basically about the fact that one thing we totally forgot to mention about is about the fact that, relatively speaking, when it comes to other reviews, for the sake of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, speaking of which, basically, we've already mentioned about the forms of quite a few game reviewers as far as I'm aware, that I did not know is about the fact that there's also another selections of reviews also receives the game a 10 out of 10, and potentially speaking, here I found quite a few of them. Like for instance, there is a comic book, as well as the forms of, I would say VGC, Screen Rant, Nintendo Live, as well as the forms of Screen Rant, and even Digital Trends. Like, I think Digital Trends did somehow gives the game a 9 out of 10, and on top of that, there's also Checkpoints, also receives the game a 10 out of 10, as well as God is a Geek, and also PC Mag, and I think that's as far as I can think about it. And sure enough though, because obviously the game is doing pretty dang well when it comes to review scores alike, so it will be a guarantee about the fact that that particular game will definitely becomes the game of the year by the end of 2023, similar to the forms of how it does it back in 2017. So it might be a bit tough though, especially because about the fact that obviously in addition with Metroid Prime Remastered, that obviously we've now got The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, both on the Nintendo Switch. So as a result, it could be a tough competition between the two. So anyway, let's move on to the next level, which appears to be World 7-3, Handy Hazard. So I think something tells me that this particular level's gimmick is going to be involved around those robotic hands as platforms that we have to, you know, just trying to navigate through. And something tells me those pipes usually burst out bubbles or blow out bubbles. Like, gee, is this something more related to the forms of one of those Discord spells when it comes to the forms of trying to make it a little bit more of a kid-friendly version of this particular matter? Well, I don't know about you though, because it's been a very long while since we actually mentioned about the forms of something related to My Little Pony stuff, at least for bronies alike, such as ourselves. So, but I digress. So, there's one thing I also forgot to mention about this as well, I guess, is that, we no longer have our poster of Ralph Breaks the Internet, unfortunately. That's just because I feel like the film just feels a bit disappointing to me. Especially concerning about the fact that, gee, no wonder why we no longer have the DVD version of that particular film in mind. I mean, it is okay, because we still have the film, technically, thanks to the forms of Disney Plus, even though despite the fact that Disney Plus is actually getting a bit downhill recently, thanks to the forms of certain subscribers has been lost. Mainly, for instance, about the fact that they've lost 4 million, so, yeah, it seems kind of feels a bit of a continuous trend of anything else, to be more specific, because I feel like 2023 just feels a bit bleak so far. At least especially in comparison to the forms of 2022 to me though, because I will say that 2022, along with 2021, are definitely alright, even though nowhere near as the best years as, let's say, 2019 for instance, because I'm pretty sure because that particular moment where the fact that the actual pandemic was a thing, during the course of the worst year we've ever been through, so, but that's probably just for us anyway, so... Anyways, let's shoot up there, because something tells me we need to get ourselves the, what else? Another puzzle piece right up there,
because, you know, relatively speaking though, if you pay attention to the surroundings, then obviously it gives you a specific hint right there, so... But regardless of everything else though, it's about the fact that we have no idea when are we gonna able to get our next poster exponentially. I don't know about you, it could be possible about the fact that we could probably try to get something more like something related to Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie or Sonic 3 once that comes out. Well, I don't know about you, Mighty, because after all, we're still on 2023 after all. But at least on the upside, we still got ourselves the glorious Super Mario Bros. Movie poster for free at Odeon just around when the film actually launches. So, enjoying it day one as a result too. So, either way, speaking of which though, is about the fact that I'm curious to know of what the box office will continue to rise for the likes of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, as a matter of fact, because I'm sure enough though, it will still do pretty dang well, especially concerning with all that particular point that it is now the best performed Illumination films right now in terms of box office ownings right now, just because everyone knows what Mario is, especially he's the most iconic video game characters of all time, as you probably already know. So anyways, let's grab that another puzzle piece. It's kind of weird how both of these puzzle pieces are somewhat far between each other, despite the fact that you have to do it in a different method. So either way, oh jeez, I almost got to fall off. Even to make matters even much more apparent, that I've almost gonna land onto that particular fiery flamethrower, but hey, at least on the upside we got all the puzzle pieces without missing a single one at the very least, so that should be a good thing. Although, because of all that stuff though, on the first level in World 7 so far, then I believe we missed out on 2 puzzle pieces, kind of thinking about it. So, oh geez, something tells me we have to able to time our cannon barrel shots carefully, so just in case we can able to fit in the middle. And, I was so close to get a DK icon, but oh well, no big deal. Because obviously about the fact that whoever needs more extra lives anyway, because, well, despite we did made that one simple mistake early on, but that's just because about the fact that it's been a very long while since we actually stumbled across for that particular mechanic. So, anyways though, so let's move on to level 7-4, Gear Getaway. Now I think, from what I can tell, that this particular level right there is going to be involved around, I would say, yet another Rocket Barrel segment, because I'm pretty sure the last time we actually did done the Rocket Barrel segment was back in Evolves within, I would say, in World 4. So, yeah, quite a long time actually, since we've actually last stumbled across that particular level mechanic like this. Oh, something tells me there's another puzzle piece right there when you knocked out the lampshade, so that's something. As well as from that, another bonus area is just right at the beginning of the level. So 3 puzzle pieces in the beginning portion of the level. So how nice and generous at the same time. Because I'm pretty sure that the remaining puzzle pieces is going to be requires you to able to take a ride on new forms of the Rocket Barrel. So because of this though, yeah, but because here's the catch about the forms of this particular world, as far as you can definitely tell from the start, that obviously once we finish with this particular level first of all, that basically we will come across into ourselves these levels representing the actual square. Because obviously we'll talk more details about that as soon as we're able to continue things off at this point. So anywho, anyways, let's go ahead and mash the 2 button on, and we are blasting off once again. And jeez Louise, there's a lot of gears that we have to avoid, and it brings us a lot of tests as far as this is concerned. So oh jeez. But at the very least we got a K, and the checkpoint is not far from here, luckily. Another puzzle piece right there. And I think there's going to be an O, which appears to be somewhere right over there. Yeah, which thankfully I did somehow manage to obtain that, so... Now I believe the next puzzle piece is in between those pistons, or spring pistons, so that's sure it's something. Yeah, sorry guys, I had to just try to focus on this level, because again, if I talk too much on this particular point... Oh, okay, we got all the puzzle pieces, at the very least, within a single attempt, and something tells me G is going to be up later on, so... Oh my lord! What is going on? Well, at the very least you got the G now, so... All you need to do now is basically you have to finish the level as normal, so... And conveniently enough, I did this level on the first attempt, so no crashes or anything, so how about that? So anyways, more banana coins, thank you very much. Although, mind you, we're miles able to say this right now, I don't think we can necessarily try and need to get more banana coins at this point, because obviously I think we've only got one more map key left. Because of that though, that'll be until the next world. So either way, that's pretty much that. Now let's go ahead and move on to one of those square-based levels. So starting with World 7-5 Cog Jog. Not to be confused as the same name as one of those mini-games you find in Mario Party 6. Although, except the notable differences from there, is that obviously the minigame lasted for about few seconds, depending if you're fast enough. And on top of all that stuff though, it's just a full-fledged level instead of the forms of a minigame, so... But either way though, as you can see on screen, that we need to able to find one of those pressable button switch. And basically, I believe there are about 3 of them in total, so I believe in order able to find one of those switches, they can be pretty well hidden if you have a first time experience in the game. So as a result though, we'll show you guys where to find these specific switches. So, because relatively speaking though, we already know about this game for quite some time, despite it's been ages since we've last played this game, since on the 3DS version, so... But either way though, we'll try our best if we're able to actually just try and able to, you know, grab certain usual collectibles. I think something tells me with that particular banana right there could signify as a bonus area, or potentially speaking something bonusy down there. But of course we'll have to wait until we get the K, which we've already did. So either way, let's fall down here, and sure enough, a puzzle piece is right there. So I figured that's nothing that much, so... But I digress. So, as you can tell, we now stumbled across those robot-like enemies that we can able to deal with. So, potentially speaking though about the fact that they are pretty self-explanatory. Like, you simply stomp on them quite a few times with the blue variations, but there's also the red variations, which I think the red variations just somehow shoot out flamethrowers, if I'm assuming so correctly. So, but either way, that might be saying something, at least as far as I'm concerned. So... Although, relatively speaking, unfortunately though, we've only got 1 week left until the Little Mermaid live-action adaptation is going to be releasing, which still, I'm not going to see it, especially because I just refuse. So, either way though, you guys should probably already know when it comes to, like, you know, trying to be biased, I guess, when it comes to preferring the originals over the likes of this very god-dang live-action adaptations, and you probably name the rest of it. I don't feel like trying to repeat that anytime soon, until specifically whenever we get to the, well, let's just say until whenever we get to the 8th world. So, and I'm pretty sure about the fact that I was originally trying to say about the fact that we can expect that we can able to complete this entire factory world during the events of one specific part. But as it turns out that I've realized that it might be still felt a bit lengthy, so once again it's going to be taking place in 2 parts basically. So yeah, for those of you who want to be very curious about any of those specific stuff like this one, so yeah, because that's the actual continuous that edition as far as this is concerned. Yeah, I couldn't mention about the fact that if we decide able to do Tropical Freeze, then obviously it might have the exact same treatment as far as for this particular point goes. But we'll shall see what happens in due time, especially because concerning about all that, you know, we're basically almost finishing up in terms of the entire platforming genre when it comes to the Donkey Kong series of games, after all. Even though, mind you, about the fact that we are still about to be planning to do King of Swings, and darn it, I simply fell off by mistake, because it's bad enough we've lost Diddy Kong, but hey, at least on the upside we can bring him back. Because I think something tells me about the fact, I believe for the next puzzle piece, as far as this is concerned, I believe we do need to able to look after the barrel once again. So relatively speaking though, that's because I'm pretty sure there was actually a bag in there somewhere. So yep, I was right. So, dang it! We did come across into another death on the exact same spot too. But this time we do have Diddy Kong with us to join in the death. So... oh well, beggars sales can't be choosers, I guess, but still. So, anywho though, so yeah, let us know in the comments down below for the question of the day. Are you guys pretty much excited able to see Fast and Furious 10? Because, sure enough though, I'm pretty sure that Shadow will be looking forward to able to see that film. yeah, especially noticeable, as I said before, it's been 2 years ago since, you know, the 9th film. So, yeah, see that part right there? Basically, I highly suggest you're able to shake the Wiimote downwards, and potentially speaking, you can able to activate the spinning wheel, and if you keep following it, taking a notice from the likes of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, basically you come across it to this point right there, and blast it downwards, and from here, this is what you find, one of the first switches. In some cases though, the plug socket is just gonna plug in, and potentially speaking, we're basically done with this part. So as a result, once the entire plug is plugged in, then obviously we blast it back out, and we can continue as normal. So, but again, in order able to proceed to this particular world, you need to activate all 3 of those switches, because if you missed one of them, you have to replay most of those levels again. So because of this though, assuming of course if you manage to know exactly what to do, so as a result of that kind of stuff though, good thing we did somehow manage to found it, thanks to the forms of a banana-shaped arrow that signifies how you're able to find those specific switches in mind. So, although I will must say about the fact that this particular world's selections of levels goes by a lot quicker than I thought it was, even though still it might be felt a bit lengthy at points, but still. I think something tells me there's a puzzle piece right up there, so we'll obtain that. Not doing too bad for that part, despite we did fail off quite a few times with all that unexpected movements here and there. So either way though, everything else will be pretty much expected for, so... Anyways though, so let's just go and continue things off at this point, and oh jeez, this is what gets pretty treacherous around here. Yeah, especially concerning with all that particular moments where that we have to keep our... Oh, there's another puzzle piece up there, so I believe we only got 2 more to go. So, but either way though, that might be saying something, I suppose, so... And I get the strong, horrible feeling about this is that I'm pretty sure we're missing on quite a lot of those puzzle pieces once again. So, yeah, it will continue that addition, which, as a result for that kind of stuff though, it always happens sometimes. So, especially if you're not knowing where certain locations are. Although, potentially speaking though, that might actually consider this a thing, I suppose. Even though I apologize for my commentary, it's a bit bare bones at this point today, because honestly guys, that's just what I can really say about for this point today. Although mind you about the fact that, well, I'm just, quite chuffed about the fact that, well, we can potentially try to able to let Sonic were able to mention more news and specific details and during later on though, but either way though, that's just for discussion until, specifically until next, well, specifically this weekend, so... Because at this point in time, we're still currently busy playing, you know, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, as you probably already expect. Which, I know we keep on saying this before, because obviously a lot of people are waiting for this game for such a long time, since when it first announced back in E3 2019. So as a result for that kind of stuff, though, it's been 4 years since we've, last seen the forms of E3 2019 trailer for the likes of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel, or later on now known as Tears of the Kingdom. So all we need left now still is of course Metroid Prime 4, and everything else will be pretty much done by then. When it comes to Nintendo Switch games remaining, for the sake of time, even though it's kind of bad enough about the fact that in Metroid Prime 4's case, that obviously since in the beginning of 2019, needs to able to restart this entire process of this entire development just because of all that. Well, it switches over. Well, at one point it starts to be developed by the forms of Bandai Namco, but eventually shift over to Retro Studios instead. Yeah, I guess that makes a pretty obvious sense that Retro Studios is now working back on the forms of Metroid Prime 4 because of, you know, Retro Studios is more popular for the likes of the Metroid Prime games. So, anyway, I think we'll do one more level as it is, so let's go in and get on to the forms of the next level in World 7, which is World 7-6 Switcheroo. So something tells me there's another one of those button switches we need to find, as you can see on this little billboard. So, relatively speaking though, everything else will be pretty much expect. So yeah, in this level's gimmick is about the fact that every time when you activate certain switches, it doesn't matter if it's either red or blue switches or buttons to be more specific. As you can tell, very similar concept as in the forms of not only Flip Swap Galaxy from Super Mario Galaxy 2, but also with the forms of any other like you know, switching flip panels from the likes of not only Super Mario 3D Land, but also with Super Mario 3D World as well.
that every time whenever you do manage to able to jump on those games, basically the actual color of the flip panels will quickly flip over to another color, like red and blue. So I think it kind of does the same thing from here, except you only need to activate the button in order able to do it. Whilst unlike in Super Mario Galaxy 2, with not only from the likes of Flip Swap Galaxy, but also Flip Out Galaxy as well, that basically every time when you shake the Wii remote for a spin attack, obviously the thing will switches around between, you know, blue and red objects as far as this is concerned, ranging between, you know, the flip panels alongside with the fonts of the actual wall colors as well. So yeah, because of that though, everything else will be pretty much expected by then. So yeah, if you're most likely familiar with those mechanics like this before, so, well, assuming so anyway, so. But I digress. So either way though, that's as far as we can able to say for this point today. Although we've liked able to mention something else for that matter though, but again, we'll let Sonic be able to mention more details on these specific other topics worth noting for, until, you know, when he goes back on to Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2, so. I believe in order to able to get that K down there, I'm pretty sure we have to do this, so. Although it might be seems a bit risky, but regardless of such though, thankfully there's a vine right there, so that way we can able to hop onto the vine, and potentially we can able to just continue things on for this point. And something tells me with that particular crack on the floor, that actually signifies there's actually a switch down there. But first off, let me go ahead and activate the blue switch to activate blue platforms to be shown up, and that is where we find ourselves the, what else? Another plug socket. In some cases though, another switch to activate. So yeah, 2 down and only 1 more to go. Well, potentially speaking, we'll go after the last switch at some point whenever we get to the next video. At some point whenever we go back to this on Monday. So that's what I can really think about it. So yeah, we're not doing too bad actually. So as a result, the only thing I do really like about this world in particular is that it does feature a lot of mechanics for certain stages. Like for instance with, well, as I say, in this level, for instance, we have to deal with the forms of constant switching between, you know what I mean, with the, you know, blue and red switches to able to alternate between these platforms. And on top of that, there's also another level coming up that is probably, without doubt, is probably one of my favorite levels in the game, just because of how upbeat and catchy the music is. So that's probably just me anyway, but that's also the reason why I want to point things out, is that I'm pretty sure the next level coming up also bring back that particular music from one of those fan-made games from some users. Specifically, we'll discuss on that and during at some point on Monday, as I said before, so. But either way, that's what I can really think about it. So either way, it's time to able to jump onto those tires, so just in case we get enough bounce height and get the N as a result. And just make sure we don't able to actually activate any of those switches, because, you know, as to be expected, there's a large bottomless pit. So as a result, if you dare fall off, if you accidentally manage to able to activate certain switches at the wrong time, you fall and die. So yeah, you don't want to let that happen, don't you? Yeah, especially because of all that. Well, you know what I'm saying. Alright, so I think we have to just, I don't know, try and do this, I guess? Maybe like, oh, okay. Oh jeez, that was close. But at least we got a G now, so that should be all good. And they'll just drop down here and try to duck just in case we don't want to get electrocuted. So I think something tells me there must be something well hidden up there, although I may be wrong. But I'm sure enough though that maybe, do I have to like do this? And maybe jump off and suppose we can duck again. Oh jeez, we lost Diddy Kong. Oh jeez, that makes things a bit harder, so. Oh boy. Can I do this? Oh, so close! Because yeah, for that particular red platform right there, that actually signifies that actually brings us something hidden, so. Oh jeez, I was not expecting that. Let's see if we can able to try this again, so. Oh, nice. Nice leaps of faith right there. And sure enough, puzzle piece right up there. So, yeah, pretty much expected. Especially because of all that. You know, certain puzzle pieces. Oh, come on! Oh, jeez, that was probably my fault. Especially because I somehow accidentally activate the switch. So, whoops. The reason being for this is because I was trying to able to get the G. So I can able to get the thing done and finished. So. But at the very least, we did somehow succeed at the very end, so.
Oh jeez, it does require a lot of concentration at this point, especially with all that. You know, the later levels does require a lot of concentration, as you can tell. And something tells me, with those red, like, robot chickens, as far as I'm aware, basically those about the fact that they're all more accurately explosive. So either way, those probably best able to throw it somewhere elsewhere. So, really? Okay, whatever. Whatever, because at this point in time, I think we've almost nearly at the end of the level, so, oh jeez, I'm actually kind of nerve-wracking at points, so, I think something tells me if I go up here, I could assure you I don't think there's going to be any, wait, is there? Yes, there is. And unfortunately, we missed one puzzle piece again, jeez. Anyway, so with that being said, we got the endings up for this point right here. So join us next time for more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country Returns. Is that we're going to be finishing up with World 7 and to do the last few levels in that world. So see you guys on Monday. Later, dudes.